I've made this hammer. The first one made it all the way up to heat treat, and I quenched it in oil. Everything went well. I thought it was cool enough to finish it off in water. When I put it in water, I cracked it, so I had to make it over. Cut this off of a big old hunk of leaf spring, more than likely some sort of 5160 spring seal, something of that nature. But I welded on a little nib. Problem I had on the first one with a hammer this size was just kind of holding it until I kind of got a shape going. Once I got a shape going, a little bit more material stretched out, I was able to hold on to it. So I went ahead and welded this nib on it so I can hold on to it while I form the cross peen section. And then we'll flip it around and isolate the hammerhead section. And then at that point I will cut the nib off and punch the hole. And I have a pair of tongs that should be able to handle it pretty well after that. So it was just kind of hard to hold on to when I first started on the other one with this piece of stock. I really don't have a set of tongs that hold on to it too well. But when I get it stretched out a little bit and get a little bit more to hang on to, then yeah, we'll be all right. And most of the work's going to be done in the hammer drift anyway, so pretty much just have tongs to get in and out of the forge and get it on hammer drift and do all the shaping and stuff. So I think I said the last one, when it was all said and done, came in around 16 ounces. It was 1 pound, just over 1 pound. I think 1 pound, 1 ounce, so it was like 17 ounces. So I cut off the same size piece of stock from the same exact material I used last time, so this one should come in around 1 pound as well. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, bring you over here to the anvil, get this thing heated up, and we're going to start hammering out a small cross peen. Small, but the biggest hammer I've made so far. So I'm going to start with the taper. So I've had quite a few heats, and I got my taper established. So I've been hammering the taper in. So I keep the upsets on the side and check. So I don't want no really wide bulging. Trying to keep it all nice and tidy, so there's not a lot of cleanup. All right, so now I'm going to flip it around. Actually, I'm not going to flip it around. I'm just going to stick it in the guillotine tool, but I am going to isolate some material for the hammer head. Then we're going to go ahead and start to drift the eye. So one thing I didn't like about the first hammer I did is I really didn't isolate enough material for the hammer face. So I have an opportunity to remedy that on this one. I'm going to try to make this as tidy as I can. Make it as straight as I can too. So do this nice and slowly. Don't want to get too crazy. I want to get a good groove established all the way around. Get a little bit more aggressive with it. Kind of where we're at right now. Just set in here. These upsets will cold shut. Probably cold shut a little bit. Oh, Mark's not in the center. I will work that out with a file later. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to isolate this. Hammer face area. I'll bring y'all back when we start drifting the handle eye. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing that until I get it the size I want. And then we're going to come back and, like I said, start doing the eye. Alright, just drifting some hole here. Sorry, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just trying to get this right. All right, so close to getting through here. I don't know if I'd say I'm more than halfway. Yeah, I can see it cracking. It's going to get to the point now where I just push this slug up and down the eye. I think it just cracked. I still got some good heat here. Keep going. Get it hot again. So the plug's going to drop any time now. Alright, so I'm just about through. There's the plug is in there. Oh, it's just like right there. I gotta break it out this time. There it is. Alright. So now we have a hole. We're gonna start expanding that out. Alrighty, so we'll start to expand this out. Get it to the point, get the little larger. The larger drift in. To the next drift. Oh, maybe not. Alright, so then with the bigger drift, so we're going to drive this in. Hopefully get some cheeks hammered out here. Of course, that'll be a little bit easier when I can get this further in the eye. Okay, so getting the drifting at a pretty good distance. And the more I get it in there, the more I'm gonna hopefully start to get some cheeks going here. Straightened up. I'm just kind of rotating this thing back and forth, but I'm going to take a heat on this side again. So on this side, for some reason, the drift's a little crooked. Alright, so I'm drifting. If I had to guess, probably about halfway where I want to be. Got the drift going in pretty straight now. I'm just kind of working on this, pulling some cheeks down as I go. And I'm sure it's going to be quite a few more heats on this. So as I'm hitting it, I'm trying to stay on this side of the drift because there's nothing on this side. It just collapsed what I just did. So on the high side of the drift, nice and tight. On the bottom side there's a gap. So when I hit it with a hammer, I'm trying not to hit the other side. So now I'm going to flip it over and drive the drift in from the other way. Okay, so I am pretty close to the end of the drift. This may very well be the last heat with the drift. I am right here at the beach, just kind of cleaning everything up, making sure everything's straight. And everything's looking pretty daggone good. I'm going to take one more heat. I'm going to get my mark on here. Actually looks pretty pretty symmetrical, but I do think I'm going to make this the top. Yeah. Alrighty. A little bit of cleanup. Not really hitting it that hard. Just kind of cleaning it up in here. Yeah, just cleaning her up in there a little bit. Down here. hitting it a little bit hard right there. I get bent a little bit. I'm gonna do one more heat. Just kind of cleaning up in here. The head was bent slightly. So, yeah, I'm gonna hit that unsupported and get that straightened out. All right, so we're gonna end the forging here. It's kind of what we wound up with. I did get my mark in there and I did put a number 1 on it. I'm gonna call this my first proper hammer. I've made a bunch of tiny hammers, but I guess they kind of count, but I'm kind of working my way up to a full-size 3-pound, 4-pound hammer. So. This one should weigh in right at around 1 pound. We'll see how it goes when I get it all cleaned up on the grinder. Rest of the work's gonna be ground in. I'm gonna grind the peen in. I'm gonna grind the hammer face on, and probably do a little bit of cleanup work right around in here with a file. But for the most part, the forging turned out pretty good. So I'm going to do a few normalization cycles, get this thing on the grinder after it cools down, and when I bring the camera back on, show you what we wound up with, and she'll be ready for heat treat. So I lost the first attempt in the heat treat, so I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. But anywho, I'm going to shut you off, and when I bring you back, we'll get to see what we wound up with. Hold on. Alright, so it's actually the next day, and finished up the forging yesterday. I let it cool down in the forge overnight, got back out here this morning. I got it on the belt grinder, belt sander. Got everything profiled, shaped up the way I wanted. I cleaned up around in here with a file. Got rid of some roughness in there. I went ahead and heat treated it, so I didn't film any of that. I didn't want to fool around with the heat treat, and I wanted to make sure I got this one through without any issues. So yeah, she went through flying colors, quenched it in oil, took it into the house when it's still hot, probably 400 or 500 degrees, threw it in a preheated 450 degree oven, and I tempered it for a few hours. And when I pulled it out, it had a nice blue purple finish on it. So, you know, nice, not too hard, not too soft, just a real durable temper color. Brought it back out, cleaned everything up, Scotch-Brite finish, wire brush. So here it is right here. Wound up weighing in right at 1 pound, 1.04 ounces. So I'm actually kind of pleased with it. It's got my mark on it and the number 1. Like I said, I'm going to call this my first official hammer, I think. All those little tiny ones and stuff, yeah, they're fun practice and all, but I'm going to call this my first proper hammer, and I'm eventually going to try to work up to, you know, at least a 3-pounder. I got some big old Mack truck axle steel over there that I was going to use. It's about 1.5 inches in diameter, so I'll probably get that annealed and get it cut on the bandsaw into some round stock to get onto maybe a bigger one. Maybe shoot for like a 2-pounder, maybe do a flatter rounder on the next one. So we'll see how it all goes. But here's the handle I'm going to use. It's already kind of halfway shaped because this was going to be the handle for the hatchet I did in the last video, or video before last, I can't remember. And it wound up cracking, so I had to cut it off. So had a lot of good usable material left in that handle. So this is going to be the handle for this one. So it's going to be whittled down quite a bit, but that is going to be some media for another day, because I'm going to end this video right here. But if you do want to see the finished hammer, you'll probably be able to see it on my Instagram channel. I'll just have photographs of it with it hafted and the handle all done. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's Metal Man Productions on Instagram. Of course, this video is going to be on YouTube and Rumble, and it's also going to be linked to my X account. So that's all Metal Man Productions. My X account is Metal Man Pro. So, you know, check me out there. You know, if you're not there, then, you know, get signed up and you can find me over there. And I guess eventually this is going to wind up on my Etsy store, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It'll wind up on my Etsy store. I just posted, I just listed the tiny hammer that I made out of a dug up pin. So that one's up, and a couple other things. But yeah, check me out over on my Etsy store, Metal Man Productions. Just all one word, no spaces. That's how you'd find that. And yeah, I'm going to shut this down, let y'all go, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the support, and we'll catch you on the next one.